All right, let's all grab our tinfoil hats. Kidding, we don't need them. Because the truth is so blatantly obvious, a blind man could see it. But not the corporate media. They, my friends, are worse than blind. They're flat out liars who realize their paycheck requires willful obfuscation of reality and the distribution of giant whoppers of the non-Burger King variety. So then we go to Alex Thompson. He is an Axios reporter. He steps up to accept his shiny award at the annual self-congratulatory journalist gala.
President Biden's decline and its cover-up by the people around him is a reminder that every White House, regardless of party, is capable of deception. But being truth tellers also means telling the truth about ourselves. We, myself included, missed a lot of this story, and some people trust us less because of it. We bear some responsibility for faith in the media being at such lows. I say this because acknowledging errors builds trust, and being defensive about them further erodes it. We should have done better.
Deception can come from all corners. Is he maybe hinting that even the illustrious Democrats that the media has done nothing but venerate might have lied about something? Oh my goodness, the shock. Really? That's all that they have been doing. And anybody who follows the news knows it. And Alex here is just timidly stating it, and very begrudgingly, because let's face it, they know that the Democrats, the uniparty, are still the ones paying their bills, both literal and ideological. Look, the media didn't just miss Biden's dementia. They covered it up like it was Area 51. For years, they swore that Joe was sharp as a tack, while he was out there whispering to ghosts and shaking hands with thin air.
It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter?
And Alex Thompson's like, oops, our bad. Maybe we were the ones who might have eroded just a little bit of trust. No. Allow me to reframe that. You didn't erode the trust, Alex. You and your media cohorts friggin' nuked it. And now wonder why the corporate press is getting hammered with the fallout. So as we begin and I go through this, please, guys, drop a comment to the following question. What is the worst media lie that you've seen lately that I am not going to cover here? I really want to know. And also share this with your normie friends. Maybe, just maybe, it'll help wake them up. And smash the like button right now. It costs you absolutely zero. So go ahead, hit that like button. I'm asking you to, very nicely. So the question that many people might be asking is, was Biden's obvious dementia cover-up a one-off media transgression, or was it the tip of the iceberg? To answer, modern-day corporate media should be called Pravda, only with greater levels of evil. COVID shenanigans. Remember when they swore that masks were 100% foolproof, that the vaccine would prevent
The various shots that people are getting now cover that. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah. When the lockdowns would only last for 2 weeks. Did that all turn out? And meanwhile, they shamed anyone who might have been asking questions. They nuked you off of social media, and all the while, our friends at Pfizer and Moderna and Big Pharma raked in billions of dollars. Spoiler, my friends, the science was about as solidly constructed as a Jenga tower. And the lab leak? Oh, they swore that that was a debunked conspiracy. They publicly called it racist, of course, to state that it came from the Wuhan laboratory where they were studying the same exact viral pathogens. Much more tolerant and compassionate to blame the unclean cultural practices of Chinese eating strange and exotic animals and weird foods at the local wet market in Wuhan. Do you think that this was unintentional? Do you think it was random? And then we move on to Hunter Biden's laptop, a classic, absolute media darling classic. Because when the New York Post dropped the laptop story in 2020, the media screamed Russian disinformation faster than you can say crack pipe. 51 former intelligence officials signed a letter backing the lie, and big tech censored it like it was a state secret. Now, even the FBI admits it was real. They knew the whole time. So did the media. Hey, thanks for the heads up, guys. You wonder why we think that the election was rigged. Meanwhile, the media, of course, stated that they had no way to verify it. They assured us with all their hearts that it was fake news. Taxpayer paid for. National Public Radio, NPR, called it a total non-story, so they weren't even going to be bothered to cover it. Meanwhile, credible journalists like Glenn Greenwald, who, by the way, I actually disagree with on a variety of topics, but I believe him to be an honest broker, trying to present the truth, stated early on that he did, in fact, verify and that it was real. And then, when The Intercept, a publication that he helped found, tried to intervene with his publication of it, he had the courage to actually leave them and go off on his own. Credit to Glenn for that. In this case, it wasn't the media falling short on these stories. It was that they flat out lied. These aren't journalists. They are script writers for the DNC, churning out fan fiction to keep the taxpayer honeypot flowing in. Those sweet, sweet tax dollars that you contribute from your hard work every single year to the federal government, along with the inflation that they create by printing money, which is an added unwilling tax that they charge you, all that money is funneled into their NGOs, their think tanks, and their activist groups. And it goes in faster than you can say, defund the police. Let's call it what it is. The mainstream media is the Democrat Party's personal PR firm. They are not here to report facts. They're here to sell narratives. Biden's dementia? Oh, how dare you attack somebody with a lifelong stutter? How dare you? COVID failures. Blame the unvaccinated, you grandma killers. Hunter's laptops? Oh, it was Russian hackers, duh. Why? Because the Democrats need their propaganda arm to keep the grift going. Look, the left has $1 trillion racket here. I mean that, $1 trillion. Tax dollars that flow into their pet project, the NGOs, the green energy scams, the DEI consultancies. All the while, the media runs cover for them. Every time that you see CNN cry about the threat to democracy, what they're really doing is protecting the continued flow to their real bosses' bank accounts. And when someone like Alex Thompson tepidly, and I mean very tepidly, questions those whose job it is to be adversarial to power, well, that's what gives us an executive branch that was entirely 100% ran by puppet handlers. I guess that they missed that story too. That's a pretty juicy one, don't you think? Another random swing and a whiff. They want to clutch their pearls and pretend that it's a one-off. Newsflash, the media's trust score is lower than a used car salesman. Americans, we are not stupid. We can see through the lies, I certainly hope, and we are done buying. Look, this isn't just about dunking on bad journalists and journalism. It's what their lies actually cost us as Americans. When the media covers for Biden's decline, we get a president who can't lead. People that we never elected making decisions for us. When they lie about COVID, people lose jobs. Children lose years of school that we will be paying for going forward into the future. Businesses that took years to create get shut down. When they bury Hunter Biden's laptop, they are actually, in fact, rigging the election, for which, in my opinion, they deserve to go to jail. The media is not just failing, they're betraying every American who deserves the truth. They're propping up a system where elites milk taxpayers dry while calling you the problem and dividing us with racial politics. And, of course, we are also the threat to democracy, which, as we are seeing by how they try to impede democratically elected President Trump at every single move, it's only defined as a democracy when the uniparty, when the Democrats are in control of the reins. It's not journalism, it's just flat out corruption. We need to hold these clowns accountable and demand better and support the few outlets still digging for facts, for truth. And I mean, like the aforementioned Glenn Greenwald, Megyn Kelly, this channel. Until then, please stay vigilant and mock these media liars at every single opportunity. Or, better yet, permanently switch the channel and turn them off. Give them no more eyeballs, pay them no more heed, and watch them disappear into the ether from which they came.